I'd like to think that what the students feel about the university is important enough that maybe we could bring this university to a halt and really reorder its priorities. But at the moment, it doesn't seem that this is possible at all. We may halt classes for a few days. We may even halt it for a spring. But ultimately, we don't change the foundation of this university, which is essentially an enormous business corporation.
I've got to say, it makes as much sense in 2024 having 18 or 19-year-old people running college campuses as it did in 1968, which is to say, doesn't make any sense at all. And you do wonder where the adults are, the adults that are supposed to be running the university, the amount of money that they are paid to educate students, and they can't allow students to go to class because a small subset of those students and outside agitators want to shut down the camp. Where are the adults? It's staggering. Not just to me. I know I'm a conservative. Not just to me, but to 90% of Americans. They want to know where the adults are at Columbia. They want to know where the adults are at Penn. They want to know where the adults are at Harvard. They want to know where the adults are at all of these college campuses where they're letting their students and outside agitators run across the campus, shut down debate, scream whenever anybody tries to talk reason to them, shout genocidal chants.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I gotta tell you guys, the Democrat Civil War is something to behold. It really is, because like I told you guys before in recent videos, the pro-Palestinian protests are the new BLM protests, okay? That is what is happening. And we know during 2020, the BLM protests were used against Trump and Republicans, okay? It was part of the momentum that Democrats used to get the anti-Trump, Trump deranged vote out to the polls to try to get Trump out of office, right? But now, because of the monster that Democrats have created by normalizing this type of extremism in this country, it is now turned on them, because the pro-Palestinian protesters are basically very anti-Democrat, right? I mean, they are specifically going after Democrats, not so much Republicans. Okay, Republicans are kind of skating by, even though Republicans are like overtly pro-Israel, right? I would argue that they're much more pro-Israel than Democrats, but because Democrats are in charge and they're not doing what the left wants them to do, they're taking out all their anger and vitriol on the Democrats, okay? And it is something really to behold, because now you have mainstream liberal media outlets like MSNBC, as you guys just saw there, Joe Scarborough, who claimed to be a conservative, by the way. Did you guys hear that? He said, I'm a conservative. I said, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, this guy is more delusional than I thought, right? Anyways, that was a good laugh for me. Conservative? Come on, bro. You as liberal as it gets, okay? You're liberal as hell. You're a Democrat, Joe. Okay, stop playing games. Don't play me like that. Insulting my intelligence. But anyways, as you guys saw there, okay, as you guys saw, Joe Scarborough going off, okay, on not just the protesters, but also the adults in charge that are supposed to be not allowing the protesters to do what they're doing, right? And again, they're upset, okay? Like, the left, like, they're going at each other, right? There's no capitulating to what the pro-Palestinian protesters are doing anymore. Like, it's a full mask off, like, Democrat progressive civil war, right? That's what it is, okay? So with that being said, the result of the Democrat civil war going into the 2024 election is a campaign disaster for Joe Biden, because a lot of these people have come out and basically said, I am not going to vote for Joe Biden. And that is shown up in the primary with the uncommitted vote. People coming out in certain states like Wisconsin and Michigan saying, well, I'm just not going to vote for Joe Biden because of this war between Israel and Hamas. And that is showed up in the polls that show Trump's Gen Z support increasing since 2020 and Biden's Gen Z support decreasing since 2020.
All right, while President Trump deals with all those legal battles, the former president also seeing a surge in Gen Z support. New Harvard polling shows that the former president is up 9 points among voters between the ages of 18 and 29 since the year 2020. Biden down 6 points in the same poll.
Yeah, so numbers like that among Gen Z, plus the polls showing Trump destroying Biden at the national level and at the state level, the swing state level, where the election is actually really decided. This is a nightmare scenario for any Democrat strategist, right? These people have to be panicking behind closed doors, trying to figure out how the hell are they going to turn this ship around. And the reason why you know this is because you have Democrat strategists like James Carville coming out and going on these deranged rants, basically attacking Gen Z and young voters for abandoning Joe Biden. Again, this rant is pretty epic, and it shows you just how much Democrats are losing their minds behind closed doors over what is currently happening to the Biden campaign. So I want to talk about it, but before we get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Noble Gold. Hey there, investing feels overwhelming right now, doesn't it? So complicated, so many decisions. But leaving your money in the bank, not a great idea. It's losing value every single day. So if it's stressing you out and driving you nuts, why not invest smarter with Noble Gold investments? Precious metals are simple and real. There hasn't been a company or stock that was around 2,000 years ago, but guess what? Gold was around 2,000 years ago. It's always been there through wars, turmoil, and disasters. Reliable, dependent, authentic. That is why you cannot go wrong with precious metals. They've always had your back. Noble Gold Investment American experts will show you how to set and forget your 401k or IRA. You'll get a dedicated professional assigned to you. No hassle, no call centers. And this month, Noble Gold is giving away a free 1/4 ounce gold standard coin with every qualifying IRA investment. Visit noblegold.com to claim your gold coin. That is noblegoldinvestments.com. And just remember, there's a risk with every investment and there's no guarantee of any kind.
Are you kidding me? Is this the United States of America? Is this the nation that was founded on the principle that no person is above the law? And then you tell these young people, if you don't get involved right now in this election, they're going to be involved in your life for the rest of your freaking life. And if Trump and Roberts and Alito and Gorsuch and Thomas and Leonard Leo and the Heritage Foundation, if they get a hold, there will be no government left. There will be no rights left. You'll live under theocracy. You'll end up with Christian nationalism. But that's all right, you little fucking 26-year-old. You don't feel like the election's important to me. They're not addressing the issues that I care about. Well, the New York Times wrote a story about the Harvard Youth Poll, which is a pretty good, well-regarded thing, a guy named John Della Volpe. And very recently, they gave youngsters the 15 most important issues. Clocking in at number 14 was student debt. You wouldn't know that if you read the fucking press. Number 15 was the issue of Palestine. High on the list was abortion, was interest rates, was housing affordability. Well, all of these other things. You are being insufficiently served by the commentariat, and to some extent, you're being insufficiently served through Democratic messages. So my advice to tell these young people to get off your motherfucking ass and go vote, because you should vote like your entire future and the entire future of this United States depends on it, because quite frankly, it does. And that's not an exaggeration.
Yo, I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay. I am enjoying the Democrat Civil War right now so much. Okay. They deserve it. Okay. Democrats deserve it. Right. Because, you know, James Carville thinks that it's a good idea to come out here and to attack Gen Z voters and young voters who don't want to vote for Joe Biden. Right. And it's so hilarious to me because he's upset about these people not being concerned about the real issues. Right. But yet again, who was the cause of that? Who caused these people to feel like issues like Israel and Palestine, which much more important than the actual real issues affecting this country, right? Well, it's Democrats that did that, okay? Because during the BLM riots, while these people were committing acts of violence, Democrats were cheering it on. They were kneeling, wearing kente cloths and all types of crazy stuff, right? Thanking George Floyd for sacrificing himself, right? All types of weird, crazy stuff was going on with Democrats, right? They were endorsing this type of stuff. And the whole time, I'm sitting here like, okay, so you got these people rioting and destroying things in this country over an issue that really is not a real issue, right? I mean, the issue of white police officers killing unarmed black men unjustifiably is so minuscule that, again, I don't even understand why we spend so much time talking about it, right? It's one of those things where it just blows my mind, but it has been played up by the media because the race narrative is used and weaponized against the conservatives, right? They weaponized against the Republicans, and that's what they did. So again, they taught these young voters to worry about issues that really aren't that big of a deal and to act the way they're acting right now in accordance with that. So, people like James Carville, you're upset, but you really can't be upset with the Gen Z and the young people because they were programmed to act the way they're acting right now by Democrats, by your party. Because it was good for you guys when Trump was in office. But now that Biden's in office and he's taking the brunt of the blame for what's happening with Israel and Hamas, right, in Palestine, hey, the pendulum is swinging the other way in politics. So you can't be mad at the young people. You got to be mad at the Democrats. But again, I just find it to be hilarious that these people have gotten to the point where they're so desperate that they're attacking the voters now. They're attacking young people for doing what Democrats told them to do. Hey, it's an injustice. You got to stand up against this injustice, even if it's not in our country, right? You got to stand up for it, right? Again, they were totally fine with this during the BLM riots. They were totally fine with it when it was Roe v. Wade. They were totally fine with it when it came to Antifa. Why all of a sudden has it changed, right? Why all of a sudden Democrats don't like it anymore? Well, because it's negatively impacting them. When it negatively impacts Republicans, oh, well, hey, it is what it is, right? Free speech, okay? But as soon as it impacts them, oh no, all that stuff goes out the door. And I think the most hilarious part about this is that the victimhood coalition is falling apart, right? All of these people who banded together to support Democrats, despite the fact that a lot of these groups, again, I would argue, for example, like Muslims, they're not progressive, right? They're not liberal. They're pretty conservative, but hey, because they're brown and because they're minorities, they support Democrats, which means that they're supporting the same party that supports the woke gender agenda. But overall, if you're a minority, Democrats try to say, well, we're the party for you, right? Even if all of your interests don't align, the one interest that all of you do share is your plight against the conservative white Christian male, right? And the conservative white Christian male is the problem, right? More so than the differences that you guys got. Now, with this Israel-Palestine situation, the intersectionality victimhood coalition has fell apart because even the straight Christian white male is not enough to get these people back on track, right? This is why these people keep coming out here and saying, listen, I know you guys are upset about what's going on overseas, but Trump, right? But Trump, the reason why these people attack Trump so much is because he is a representative of what they try to paint as the enemy, right? The problem for so-called minorities, right? Which is the straight white Christian conservative man, right? That is what Trump represents. This is why they're obsessed with him, okay? So the funny part is that that's not working. Even the straight white Christian conservative man can't make these people set aside their differences and to get on board on the same team in order to save Biden. That's the most hilarious part about it, right? Their Trump card, quite literally, their Trump card is not working, right? It's been declined, okay? And that is the part about this that really, really, really is fascinating to me, okay? As, again, the Democrats and the victimhood coalition falls apart, right? Which is, again, hilarious. I mean, they deserve it. But on the other side of the aisle, you have Republicans, conservatives, coming together. Like, for example, Trump and DeSantis, okay? They reportedly have met in Florida to bury the hatchet, aka to get over their beef, right? And to support each other so that Trump can get elected and that Ron DeSantis can benefit. Maybe, just maybe, he might be the next guy up after Trump. Who knows? I don't think it's too late for him, but he's making the right moves if he wants to take the reins, right, after Trump is done. Donald Trump met privately with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in Miami Sunday in a bid to mend fences from the bruising GOP primary and discuss raising funds for the general election. The Washington Post reported in multiple outlets confirms. After he dropped out of the race prior to the New Hampshire primary, DeSantis endorsed the former president via video. Trump responded by calling DeSantis gracious and said he was looking forward to working together to defeat Joe Biden. Quote, but DeSantis has not campaigned for Trump or helped him since, and in fact has made backhanded criticisms of Trump. DeSantis was stung by how Trump and his team treated him during the primary. People close to the Florida government said, according to the Post, well, he should have never got in the first place, right? He should have sat it out because he didn't really have a chance. So his own damn fault, right? It really is. NBC's Dasha Burns confirmed the reporting and added that the meeting was meant to bury the hatchet and to talk fundraising. Yeah, so overall what you have here is while the Democrat Party is falling apart, the Republican Party is coming together. Now, don't get me wrong. There is debates and, stuff like that within the conservative movement about certain issues. But for the most part, again, the key players are trying to come together and say, you know what, we all need to just kind of get on board, get on the same team to defeat Joe Biden, right? You saw the interview with Bill Barr coming out on CNN and saying, yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump, and then CNN losing their minds over it, right? So, again, what needs to happen moving forward is that conservatives, again, we need to put our differences aside, understand that, hey, we're all on the same team more or less, right? And we need to come together and defeat Joe Biden as Democrats continue to fall apart and they're now lashing out at their own voters, right? That is what needs to happen going into the election. And it seems as if that is what is happening and we need to keep up that momentum. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.